no, not now. This can't be happening to me right now. No, no, no. There I was giving a presentation to new clients. I'd painstakingly written and practiced it several times because lately I'd found myself forgetting what it is I wanted to say. In the middle of the sentence, I felt it, that instant build-up of heat, that sudden, intense, radiating, outward heat, starting right here, right from my inner core. I tried to carry on. I hoped and I prayed that it would stop, that for once it would not feel like I was burning in a furnace. I must have hesitated because when I looked up, everyone's eyes were on me, all of them. Flustered, I looked down to check where I was, and a massive, huge blob of sweat fell slowly, and with what seemed like a loud splash, fell right in the middle of my paper, onto my notes, and spread slowly across the paper. Horrified, embarrassed, angry, and burning hot, I hurriedly excused myself from the room and ran to the bathroom. Tears of frustration and shame, mixed with sweat, rolled down my face. I washed my face with cold water, and it didn't help. I took my top off. That didn't help. I opened the window, and there I was at 9:35 on a Monday morning, a 51-year-old professional woman leaning out of the window, half naked, tears, sweat, and water running down my face, fanning myself with a tissue, feeling ashamed. Hi, my name is Nyoni, and I'm 54 years old, and I can't take HRT, but that's not where my story starts. My story starts just a little over 50 years ago. In that period, I've managed to burn myself twice on my legs, both third-degree burns. I've had 5 major operations for various things, and I fractured my foot about 3 years ago. And the funny thing is that the bone that I fractured is commonly fractured by athletes, and I don't do running. All I was doing was taking out the rubbish, and I slipped on the back step. I know, right? I also have a chronic illness, and the medication that I take for this is with a lot of other medication that other people can take. And being unable to take everything available to everyone else and having so many things happening in my life has had a great impact on me taking care of myself and making a choice to living my life to my fullest. So, 21 years ago, I was diagnosed with this chronic illness. Then 9 years later, I lost my business after having had 2 major surgeries within 5 days of each other. And I had a premature baby to look after alone, by the way, as my partner had decided he just couldn't hang around for reasons best known to himself. After that, I had been in and out of work, sometimes because my contract had finished, and at other times it was because of my health. I've also lost 2 of my sisters, my brother and my mom and my dad, all within a few years of each other. In fact, my brother and my dad, their deaths were only 6 months apart, and I was devastated. I was so lost. I lost me. I didn't know, and I couldn't really find meaning and a purpose to life anymore. So for years after that, I wallowed in this, I just can't do this attitude. I definitely wasn't living. I was just merely existing. Life had no meaning for me anymore. There was no joy, but thank God for good friends and my faith, and because I wanted to give more of me to my children, I started searching. I really didn't know what it was I was searching for. But looking back, I realized that very, very slowly, things had started to shift. My outlook on life was changing, and this change was real slow at first. One day, I was on YouTube, scrolling as you do, from one video to another, and happened to come across a TEDx talk by Tracy Lift. And she said, the definition of hell is that on my last day on earth, the person I became will meet the person I could have become. I'm going to say that again. The definition of hell is that on my last day on earth, the person I became will meet the person I could have become. That was my defining moment. That is when things really started to turn around for me. And mind you, nothing physical had changed at all, but something in my mind had shifted on that day. The definition of hell is that on my last day on earth, the person I became will meet the person I could have become. That was my breakthrough moment. And nothing was going to hold me back. I decided on that day that I was going to start living my life fully. And that's when I started actively participating in my own well-being and deliberately started being grateful for each and every day. There are things health-wise I can't do much about, but I choose to live healthy, to do what it takes to make me feel better, to love harder, and to have a more joyful life. And that's when my journey of self-care and self-love began. And you know, despite a few bumps along the way, I haven't looked back. I'm living my life with passion to fulfill my purpose and dreams with joy. So, back to menopause. That thing, where on earth did that come from? My struggle with menopause started about 5 years ago. And my gosh, did it knock me sideways. I didn't know what had hit me. I certainly had no idea that I could feel rubbish. So awful, so down, so demotivated. And after countless of visits to the doctors, endless tears, sleepless nights, aches and pains in my hips, in all my joints actually, anger and irritability. I was forever shouting at my kids, mumbling under my breath at team meetings. And yes, of course, that incident, standing half naked, leaning out the bathroom window at work, fanning myself with a paper towel. My gosh, who was this person? I didn't recognize me. I didn't even like me. But I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop. And being told I was clinically depressed, feeling extremely exhausted, and just basically feeling utter rubbish, asking myself, why me? Trust me, Mr. Google at 2 a.m. certainly didn't help me at all. I found out that I had 25 out of the 34 most common symptoms of menopause. Fast forward to today, although I'm still menopausal, well, technically, I'm now postmenopausal. I feel energetic and I sleep well. My confidence is so much better and I've lost a wee bit of weight. My life is so much more fulfilling and I've never felt so good about myself since I turned 50. Life is not perfect, but I've found myself again. I recognize me, who I am. I still have that chronic illness. I still take medication every day. I still have scar tissue from all those operations and they hurt now and again, especially if I overdo things. But I feel healthy. I feel great. And I'm deeply grateful for each and every day. Because each and every day, the person I'm becoming is growing closer to the person I was meant to have become. So here I am today to tell you that if I can do it, if I can embrace this beautiful, awesome woman that is emerging in this season, just imagine what you can do.